So you're thinking about becoming an Azure architect? That's awesome. In the next few minutes, we're going to map out that exact journey, what it is, why it matters, and how you can get there. Okay, let's dive right in.
All right, first things first. Before we pack our bags for this journey, we've got to know where we're headed, right? What exactly is a modern cloud architect?
I mean, it's a great question, isn't it? You see that job title popping up everywhere, but what does someone in that role actually do all day? What kind of value are they really bringing to a business?
Well, think of them as the masterminds, the chief planners behind a company's entire cloud setup. They design and build these incredibly powerful systems that we all rely on. And more importantly, they make sure everything is running smoothly, that it's secure, and that it's not wasting money. They're basically the ones keeping the lights on in our digital world.
Okay, theory is great, but let's make this real. To see the kind of impact an architect can have, let's look at a super common scenario. We'll call it John's problem.
So, meet John. John's an entrepreneur, and he's got this killer app idea. There's just one tiny problem, a huge infrastructure problem. How is he going to build and run this thing without a massive, expensive data center? It's a classic startup nightmare.
And this right here, this is the choice John is facing. On the left, you've got the old way of doing things, on-premise servers. We're talking huge upfront costs, waiting weeks or months to get set up, and constant headaches with upkeep. And scaling? Forget about it. But then, on the right, you've got the cloud. Pay for what you use, get started in minutes, and it scales automatically. For a guy like John, this isn't even a choice, is it? It's a no-brainer.
Okay, so John's smart. He picks Azure. Now, what's in the toolbox for our architect who's going to help him? Let's break down the absolute core services, the foundational building blocks of Azure. First up, we've got compute. This is the engine room. It's the raw horsepower for John's app. We're talking about things like virtual machines, which are kind of like renting a super powerful computer in the cloud, or containers, a much more modern and efficient way to run your code. All right, so if compute is the engine, then networking, well, that's the nervous system. It's what connects all the pieces together. It makes sure all the different parts of John's app can talk to each other. It manages all the user traffic so things don't get clogged up. And it puts a big security fence around the whole operation.
And of course, you need somewhere to put everything, right? That's where storage comes in. This is the digital warehouse for every piece of data John's app creates or uses. It's incredibly secure, it can grow as big as he needs it to, and it's super reliable. So no more waking up in a cold sweat worrying about losing all your customer data.
So compute, networking, storage. Those are the big three, the fundamentals. But where an architect really earns their paycheck, where the magic really happens, is by using Azure's more advanced power tools to automate and optimize everything. And one of the most powerful ideas in the cloud, period, is automation. I mean, look at something like auto-scaling. This is incredible. It automatically gives John's app more power when traffic spikes, say after a big marketing push, and then scales it back down when things are quiet. So the app is always fast, but he's never paying for servers he isn't using.
But how does it scale? This is super important. You've got two main ways. On the left, there's vertical scaling. That's like taking one server and just making it beefier, like upgrading your laptop's processor. It works, but you eventually hit a wall. On the right, though, you have horizontal scaling. This is where you just add more servers. One becomes two, two becomes four, and this is the cloud's real superpower. It's practically infinite. A good architect designs for this from the very beginning.
Okay, here's another total game changer. Infrastructure as code. Imagine having a blueprint for your entire cloud setup. That's what an ARM template is. You write down in a file exactly what you need, your servers, your networks, your security rules, everything. Then you can deploy that exact same environment over and over again with just a click. No mistakes, no oops, I forgot that setting. It's perfect, repeatable, and fast.
All right. We've seen what an architect does, the problems they solve for people like John, and the awesome tools they get to use. So now for the big one. How can you get on this path? How do you build a career as an Azure architect?
Look, getting certified isn't just about cramming for a test. It's about proving to employers and to yourself that you know your stuff. It validates your expertise. And let's be real, it can have a huge impact on your paycheck. We're talking a potential raise of 20 to 40%. That is not small change.
And hey, let's stop talking in percentages. Let's talk dollars. According to Payscale.com, someone with a Microsoft Azure certification could be looking at an annual salary of around $128,000. So yeah, this is more than just a job. It's a seriously valuable career path for the future.
So where do you start?
Here's your step-by-step game plan. First, nail down the fundamentals with the AZ900 certification. It's the perfect starting point. Then, and this is crucial, you have to get your hands dirty. Sign up for a free Azure account and just build stuff, break things, learn by doing. While you're at it, dive deep into the official Microsoft documentation. That's your single source of truth. And finally, before the big day, take some practice exams. It's a proven path, and you can totally do this.
So there you have it. You've seen the role, you've seen the powerful tools, and you've seen the path to get there. The demand is huge, the work is fascinating, and the rewards are absolutely there. Really, the only question left to ask is, are you ready to become a cloud architect?